I want to welcome all of you here, and I just saw some guests from Cincinnati who came for this event, so welcome them, welcome everybody who came in, and alhamdulillah to have the first event in this masjid. And I really want to appreciate all the efforts that was done by the Board of Islamic Society of Greater Dayton and by all the donors to make this dream a reality and have all of us here. Inshallah, this is not just a masjid. It's a community center, it's a family center, it's a center for the youth, it's a center for us to socialize together. And I want to all of you to just be part of this, and really donations are very important to maintain this project, especially for activities and to complete the building, inshallah. This topic I will talk about today, actually the youth asked me to talk to you about it. About 2-3 weeks ago, we had an event here in this place, and we talked about having a Muslim American identity. And at the end of the event, the youth came to me and told me, actually, our parents need to hear that. And I told them, okay, let's have an event, and let's talk about that. And we expanded to the parents and the youth together. And I truly believe that we as Muslims, and we cannot advance without taking care of our youth, and also we cannot advance without taking care of our women. And if I can tell you something very important, the mother's figure in the child's development, maybe more than the father's figure. It's the only thing that the ladies were sitting on my left side here, and to realize that, how valuable you are in creating the child's identity, how valuable you are in actually creating this community, this healthy community that we're living in, and the whole ummah. I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and she told me, Baba, are you going to be controversial tomorrow? You're always controversial. And so I will try not to be, and I will just try to be provocative. And she told me, by the way, you pronounce it wrong. It's called provocative. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I learned from my kids, and we all should learn from our kids. And if one thing I want you to leave this program is to be closer to your kids, to listen to them, and to learn from them. The major problem, and the youth tell me, is the disconnect. That we grow up in different culture, we grow up in different communities, we came from a different mindset, and these kids grow up in a totally different culture and totally different, they are totally different generation. To be provocative, as my daughter taught me to say it right, is a good thing. And I think one of the problems of Muslims nowadays is that we are afraid of provocative thoughts. And when we were doing well, we were not afraid of provocative thoughts. We could talk about anything. Something happened in the last few hundred years of the Muslims where we became afraid of thinking. And as a religion, as we are, that Islam is the most intellectual religion. If you study all religions, you see how intellectual Islam is. And the Quran starting with the word Iqra and asking us to read, and the Quran has 13 times the word Yatafakkarun. I was searching it, and 22 times the word Ya'qilun. And we are still unable to reform our thoughts, and we are stuck somewhere 300, 400, 500 years ago, and we're not able to reform our thoughts. And people immediately will attack you if you say anything controversial or anything provocative, as it is haram. And I enjoy talking with the kids, and I had a very nice conversation with them 3 weeks ago, and they accept anything. And really, really, we need to learn from our kids. And because the only way to improve as a community and to have a role in this society is actually to reform our thoughts. and to know exactly what made this country great is the freedom of speech and the freedom of thoughts. And we, as Muslims, we are the first ones to teach the world that. And I was reading at the Kaplan and Salop textbook of psychiatry, about history of psychiatry. And it says, as the time where Christian medieval Europe were burning the mentally ill and punishing the mentally ill, thinking that they were possessed by demons, the Muslims made mental health asylums in Baghdad and Cairo. So at some point when the world was in the dark ages, Muslims actually realized what mental illness is and realized that they need to be treated. That's how we were. And how we became now, I don't know what happened in our thoughts, and we became stuck in what's haram and what's halal and what's kufr and what's iman, and people are afraid to think, afraid to come with ideas. I was in Chicago in December for a conference, and I met a very, I think he's a